Greetings, Soulswind here, and welcome to the third episode of Let's Play Total Annihilation. Previously, we completed mission 2, known as Vermin, and the next mission is Ambush with an exclamation mark. This time round, I choose to start from the previous score screen because I can just press or click on Start to head to the next mission briefing. So, difficulty is on hard. Let's go.
The ARM Kbot lab had been neutralized, but the threat to Core Prime was far from over. An ARM company captured a guard post on a major thoroughfare and began destroying Core transports as they arrived. Valuable cargo was lost, including important experimental personality hybrids. Central Consciousness increased the processing partition for planetary security and added 40,000 new mines to the cluster.
Mission 3.3 Core. Intel. ARM infestation is worse than anticipated. They have ambushed the guard posts on Thoroughfare 405 and are destroying passing transports. Put a stop to this foolishness. A convenient base will be necessary. Rescue as many transports as possible. Destroy them all. Do so now. Wait, do you mean destroy the transports or do you mean destroy the enemies? Well, obviously destroy the enemies, but destroy them? Anyway, this time round the wind speed will be something that we will look at. So let's start the mission. Okay, you can see on the minimap there's blips split up everywhere. So things are about to go crazy once we unpause the game, but before even unpausing, I just want to highlight that F2 brings up the menu instead of the usual escape key. In addition to that, you can hear that the music's actually the same, so we're gonna make some changes, or can we? What's this music? Same one? This one? Same one? Back again? It's different. Something's weird. But anyway, that's not a very big issue. Shall we press OK? It changes the music again, you see? So, yeah, it's a little bit wonky. I'm not too sure if future patches actually fix this problem. I didn't really go and look too deep into this because, like I said, it's not a very big issue. Okay, beware though, once you resume, it doesn't go back into the pause state. The menu launches the pause state and overrides it. So if you press resume, the game resumes. So let's see what's gonna go crazy. Alright? Boom. Everything is going crazy. Do we care? Nah, we don't. Let's start with some energy production structures and metal production structures. Yeah, I'll address that. We don't have to care about the transports that was mentioned in the mission briefing. The thing is, we were told to save as many of those transports as possible. Right? So we are not required to save them. It will not lose us the game even if all the transports are dead. Or dead, sorry. But anyway, even if we do lose the game, if we lose all the transports, I've tested before on hard difficulty, that actually takes about over 40 minutes for us to actually lose the game. So no, we're not that urgent. We're not in that sort of urgency, and we can take our time. Oh, and can we change or can we move them? We cannot. Okay, so let's just do our best to save as many as we can. Let's see, it's 2.3 on this map as well. Yeah, I don't think the solar collector's energy production changes at all, so that's one good thing. But I would like to highlight that it's not on every map that we get 2.3, even if it's a metal map. It can produce a maximum of 2.3, but it doesn't mean it will, as we'll see in some other maps in the very future map mission. Okay, before we get overrun, this is on hard after all. Oh wait. Okay, one more. You might have noticed that I keep on pressing the D-gun on the floor instead of on the enemies themselves. That's because the enemies move, so if you target them, the commander may try to track the movements and therefore not being able to fire it soon enough. However, if you target the floor, the commander will just fire on that spot. The AoE of the D-gun is presumably able to handle most of such situations and cause significant damage to low health units, such as those that are coming now. You see? Instead of targeting the first one, which may make the D-gun projectile go wayward or deviate to the side, even possibly hitting my Kbot lab, this one, which I'll introduce soon. That's a new structure. I've already built it, so we'll talk about it in just a short while. Oh, I don't think I've mentioned this before, but the speed at which the cranks on the metal extractor turns actually tells us how efficiently it's working. It's rapidly spinning, and therefore it means that it's working at its maximum or almost maximum efficiency. Okay, targeting on the floor has one more benefit to it. Okay, it's really hard to multitask. Anyway, there's another benefit to targeting the floor, and that is you don't have to get so close to the enemy. You can shoot from further. That's especially important because the commander doesn't have very good move speed. So if you urgently want to fire your D-gun before the enemy can do any sort of damage, it's also good to target the floor nearby to or right in front of the enemy. You just have to be aware of the projectile trajectory when firing, so that you don't destroy your own buildings or units, etc. So okay, we are gonna build some energies. Wait, can I build here? I can. Some energy storage and some metal storage, which I'll also cover in a while. Oh no, not again. See? I just had to target the vicinity of the enemy, and that should deal with it, without actually hurting my own buildings. If I were to target the enemy itself, if the enemy actually moves behind my structure, then there will be collateral damage. Okay, I also want to highlight that if you accidentally or intentionally stop the structure halfway, the structure will actually begin to dwindle its health until it reaches 0. Meanwhile, you can see at the bottom of the screen that you do get resources back. There is a positive resource gain, as seen in the green numbers being 2.2 and 3.3, toggling between those two numbers. So if your construction unit is actually killed while constructing something, and that structure is being left alone, it actually does not just make you lose all the resources spent on it. So you can take a pause, deal with some enemies such as the commander dealing with that enemy right there, and then continue. While it's going down or while it's unattended, you do get some resources back. Of course, you see it's 25, or no, more than 25. Let's see how many. Yeah, it's 64 energy consumption, you know, but if you 5.9 metal consumption. But if you stop, you only get back 3.3 or 2.2 metal, no energy. So it is on a diminished return. That is a penalty for stopping production, but better than having nothing at all. Wow, that's a lot of invasion. Okay, let's move forward and deal with some of these enemies. Where are they headed towards? Oh, like I mentioned previously. Oh no, I don't think I mentioned before. If they can't find the commander, they will target your production structures. Not that it really matters in this map, because I have a lot of them. Okay, let's just have 2 metal storage. There are lots of incursions during this part of the game. So, alright. Let's repair the damaged ones. Orders by pressing O and then R for repair. I'm lacking in metal somehow, so let's just reclaim a few of these. Yep, you can shift Q them to reclaim a few of them. Okay. Having 3 of these energy storage, you can see my energy storage has drastically gone up to 10,000. We started with 1,000 and now it's 10,000. We started with 1,000 here on metal and now it's 3,150. This 10,150. I'll soon explain what it's got to do with this increment. And since we have got new units and new buildings available to us this round, as in being able to construct them, I guess we can introduce them. But let me just stabilize this whole battlefront first. Well, it does seem stable though. Five of each. Oh, and I can set the rally point of a production structure, a unit production structure, or rather a factory, by pressing M or move and then clicking on the floor. When you hold shift key, you'll see where it goes. You can even shift queue them. Say you want them to move to here and then to this defensive position, you can do so by holding Shift key. So again, move, Shift key, and you see this movement. To clear them, simply let go of your Shift key, M, or move, and then click on the floor. That will just move it like that. Unfortunately, you cannot unset them once you've set them. There's no way to actually clear, literally. More of like clear the Shift queued movements. So yeah. So you can put this here, maybe move inwards and then to that position. You can do that. Meanwhile, our unit's doing a good job. Oh! Aha! What you see here is this. If you have got an improper rally point, such as this one just now being here, or this one right here, you'll find that your units are blocking the factory's entrances, or factory's exits rather. In this case, the unit will get stuck inside, the blocking unit will not move, and your production actually grinds to a halt. This is very crucial, especially when you are in an urgent state or an emergency state and you want to have units produced quickly. Other than that, if you're assisting with the production, such as my commander assisting in the production, if the commander was standing in front while assisting, even if you rushed out this unit, the commander's blocking the way, so the rush is for nothing. If you're doing something else and this gets blocked, that is a bad thing to happen. So take note of that. My sinus is giving me problems. Pardon my snifflings. Alright, perhaps this is a good time to go into unit and building introduction. So let's look at what we have new to us in this mission. Alright, let's start off with a follow-up from the previous episode. We have a new vehicle available from the vehicle plant, and that is the construction vehicle. It constructs buildings, makes repairs and reclaims, and adds a modest 50 capacity to both resources. As with all other construction units, the construction vehicle also produces energy and metal, although this is at a smaller amount compared to the resource production structures or the commander. While I find it to be quite a fast builder, it doesn't seem to be as useful for supporting constructions, such as assisting other construction units or factories in their production. Generally, its larger footprint would mean that there will be lesser space for other construction units, who might have also been tasked to help out with the construction. In addition, it also will have a problem trying to fit into tighter spaces when structures are being built close to each other. The construction vehicle has the same build speed as the advanced construction aircraft, but it is available earlier in the game and at a much lower cost. Its good move speed also makes it useful for building extra metal extractors early in the game, especially when most of the metal deposits are found further from the starting location. Next, there's been additions to the list of what the commander and level 1 construction units can build. We'll start with the energy storage. It increases energy capacity by 3000 and as usual can be built by all tech level 1 construction units except the ship, but including the commander. Moving on, this will be the trend for all land-based buildings. I'll talk more about naval units assisting in land-based construction and land-based units assisting in naval constructions slightly later in the series. Now back to the energy storage. I feel having 4 is kind of good enough. And I think you might notice that this will become a running theme where I have about up to 4 energy storage in each mission. Now there's one important thing to note about the energy storage. Beware that when it is destroyed, it does quite a bit of damage to surrounding buildings and units. It can even set off a chain effect if multiple storages are built adjacent and they have been sufficiently damaged. So obviously, do not assign a commander to repair a damaged energy storage when the commander is low on health. And anyway, why are we even allowing the commander to get so low on health? Nah, just kidding. That happens often. In fact, very often, as you'll see in the game. We have available to us another storage, the metal storage, which increases metal capacity by 1000. Again, I feel that having 4 of them is good enough, and it is not advisable to build it in the early game due to the significant metal cost for building it. Ever felt blind to the happenings on the battlefield? Ever felt helpless to the sudden attacks from the enemies? Fear not, the radar tower is here to solve your problems. Having a range of about 23 grids in radius, it enhances your cognizance of the battlefield and improves your control over the upcoming battles. You can easily tell the range of the radar tower on the minimap with the help of the friendly and eye-pleasing green circle. It provides situational awareness via the minimap. Enemies are no longer concealed and will appear as red blips on the minimap. The radar tower may even aid you in identifying potential resource positions such as metal deposits and geothermal vents through your interpretation of the enemy's positioning with the help of the blips on the minimap. Get yours now from all tech level 1 units including the commander. Unless the enemies are within their jammer unit's range, in which case they will not appear on the minimap, or their stealth units whereby they carry their own onboard jammers. Range improvements and sonar detection each sold separately. Armor and high health points not included. This factory unlocks more units for us. The Kbot lab, it produces Kbots, which are tech level 1 ground units. Well, the word Kbot, according to Total Annihilation's Wikipedia, means kinetic bioorganic technology. But I somehow thought it might simply mean killbots, as in killer robots. Kbots have great turn rates, but severely lacks in move speed. It's good for base defenses due to its smaller footprint, so you can stuff it in between your production buildings, especially anti-air units for countering early game air aggressions. Oh, and before I forget again, the Kbot lab adds an additional 100 capacity to each of the 2 resources. The first unit that we can produce from the Kbot lab is the Construction Kbot. It's a tech level 1 construction unit. It's a smaller sized sibling of the construction vehicle. It has comparatively slower move speed and construction speed, but its smaller footprint makes it a good candidate for patrolling amongst structures and within repair areas to conduct repairs. Next, the AK. A.K. AK. It's an infantry Kbot, the grunt in the front line. Decent speed for light scouting, but that's a job better left for the Weasel. Comparatively, AK compensates for the lack of speed by having more health. It does moderate damage with its only weapon, the red laser. Storm is a rocket Kbot. It shoots rockets which somehow looks almost the same as the missiles coming from its sibling, the Crasher. I'll make more comparisons after introducing the Crasher. And so, we have the Crasher, a Kbot that shoots missiles, or missiles. At only 12 DPS, the Crasher has less than half the 27 DPS of the Storm. That's due to the low damage of each projectile, doing only 32 damage versus the 100 of Storm's rocket. However, Crasher has a better reload rate, also visible from his 2 missile tubes. Crasher plays a better role in being an early anti-air unit. The 32 damage per missile is more than doubled when pit against air units, doing 80 damage each. Lastly, we have a heavyweight, the Thud. I guess it's because its enemies fall with a thud. It does decent damage, but lacks in accuracy due to a low projectile speed. Well, gravity affects artillery projectile trajectories, probably due to its implied weight and lower flight speed. Thud is a tankier Kbot, but not the best Kbot tank, or tank in general. Leave that job to the tanks. So, that's the introduction to the new units. I've been trying to take the game really slowly, but at this point of time, the game is kind of still not too difficult, even on hard difficulty. Trust me, it will get difficult, but right now, it's still not so bad. I just wanted to introduce some other things because previously I forgot to build this one, the light laser tower, so I built it. Just take a look at this. This is how it fires. So basically, it's quite rapid firing. It's got decent health points, so yeah, overall it's quite well. But like I said, you need one solar collector to power its firing. As you can see here at the bottom, it says that it's taking up 20 energy while it's firing. So another thing you see here is that it's saying the status is suppressing fire. As mentioned before, there are different statuses in a unit. So if I press S to stop, it says ready, and then units are all on standby. Some units that are stuck but are supposed to move somewhere will have the moving status. You can tell by pressing shift key. You'll see that it's trying to get somewhere, but it's not being able to move. So it's still in the moving state, and as mentioned before, the game is smart enough to say that if the unit is not moving, it does not consume the resources. One more thing that warrants my delaying of completing the game is that we're supposed to build the radar tower as you have been introduced to. And yes, it will raise your cognizance of the whole battlefield. You do see that these red blips now appear even though we have no units nearby, except for this one. Control D is for self-destruct, so let's self-destruct this one. You can cancel it by pressing Control D again. Alright, so we can self-destruct this just to show that, okay, even if you have no units here, these are shown. Why? Because of the radar tower. Click on it, you see this green circle, but there's one troublesome unit that was appearing and disappearing. That's because these other units that are non-controllable but still are units are being patrolled around this region, and they are revealing this enemy unit here. So what the radar tower does is that if we have it in range, currently we do not, so we have it in range by building one nearer to the source, like say here, then we will find that this enemy unit permanently remains on the minimap. Now it disappears. So as you can see, once our unit moves around here, it will show, but with this radar tower, it will appear here and stay permanently, unless, as mentioned, unless there is a jammer units nearby. So what this unit here, this construction Kbot, is doing is that I've put it on patrol, so it will repair whatever it encounters or assist in building whatever it encounters on its patrol route. It may deviate a little bit if it is still within its detection range. For example, this commander is kind of far away. Let's attack it. So will it go and help? You see, it is deviating even at this part. It knows that it's supposed to help out and do some form of repairs. Then it resumes its patrol. But having a unit that's even further than that, say move the commander further away and damage it, that's still kind of near enough. So yeah, the commander's own self-regen actually helps. Let's move it even further. Oh, it's repaired one of these things, right? Okay. Ah, what's that sound? That means that if you are not looking at your commander, but it's getting damaged, the game warns you. And there are textual messages informing you the same thing as well, so that you're aware your commander is in danger. because like I said, the commander is the chief. Losing the commander means losing the mission. It's not able to repair, and that is another issue with patrolling. If some unit that is supposed to be repaired gets stuck, then your patrolling repair unit gets stuck as well. This is where future units will come in handy. So we'll keep it here for now. Just be aware that these units do get stuck. But will it ignore other units that is damaged in the vicinity? Let's see. It does. Why is that so? Because there is a queue system here that says that it will try to repair something based on the priority in which it encounters the unit or structure. However, within a certain amount of attempts, if it doesn't succeed in doing so, it will move on to the next unit or building. Similarly, we can try building something as well. Say we have a structure here, bigger one. Say it's here, and then here, and then next one here, and then next one here. Now we move something into the region and block the commander's path. So the commander cannot build anything here. Oh, the commander actually has to make a detour, huh? Alright. That's when we can speed up the game for a little while, let it detour. Okay, you can see it's telling you that the commander tries to build at this location by holding the shift key. After some time, it will give up and then move on to the next one. The reason why this construction unit is not giving up is because it is on a patrol route. Ha! It found a way! Wow! Okay, so there is a distance in which it will be effectively able to repair or assist in construction. Sometimes it can find a certain angle, but that was at its limits already, so it was stuck for quite a long while before it's able to find an angle to repair it. Then again, why was it stuck on this building? Is because it will give up. But when it resumes its patrol route, it finds this building again and tries to repair again, and therefore it remains stuck. Well, now it's not. So yeah, but these are getting stuck. Does it really matter? We don't have a lot of units left. Let's move and finish the game. Let's go. There's a lot more things to cover actually, but I think that's enough for this game already, this mission. So maybe I'll leave it for next time. Oh no, actually no. There's one more thing I need to explain, and that is the build time on the stats page, something that I missed out. That's very important because there will be more introduction to more units and structures in the future. So what is the relation between the build time given by the game and the actual build time required in the game to build something? Take, for example, the solar collector, which has a build time of 2416. And for this example, we will use the commander as the builder. Its build rate of 300 actually refers to 300 units per second. Thus, the amount of time required to actually build a solar collector is 2416 divided by the build rate of the builder, which is the commander's build rate of 300. That gives us about 8.05 seconds. Now let's explore further and find out what is the relation between the 8 seconds of build time with the amount of resources required, thereby deriving the link between that and the amount of resources consumed per second by that builder. First, we take the amount of metal required to build the solar collector, which is 141, divided by 8.05, the amount of time required. This gives us the value of 17.5 metal per second consumed by the commander to build the solar collector. Similarly, taking the amount of energy required, 790, divided by the amount of time, 8.05, we get 99 energy per second consumed by the commander to build the solar collector. Let us take a look at another example using the construction Kbot. Given that its build rate is 60, we take 2416 divided by 60, we get about 40.27. That means it will take the construction Kbot about 40 seconds in the game to build the solar collector. Taking the 141 metal cost of the solar collector divided by 40.27, we get a consumption of 3.501 metal per second. Similarly, taking the 790 energy required divided by 40.27, we will get 19.62, which is about a consumption of 20 energy per second. Alright, so I've gone on to clear all except one enemy. Before I finish the game, I just want to show that for steep cliffs or steep obstacles, certain bots are more capable than climbing. Obviously, vehicles do not have this kind of climbing capabilities. They need a more gradual slope such as this one over here, which you have seen in the gameplay just now. However, Commander is able to climb almost all the steep slopes. So for our Kbots that we have here, as far as I know, it seems that so far only the Thud can climb these slopes. So as you've seen here, the Crasher doesn't climb the slope well. Neither does the Storm nor the AK. But how did I go there? You might want to ask, right? Well, there's another way around to this part of the map, and that's through the gradual slope over here. So you can put your vehicles up here to loop around, although how did this one get here? It's probably because you want to go here. I pinged it here somehow. Another steep slope we find is this steep slope. This one is too steep, of course. I don't think even the commander can. Nope. So this one over here, which had a few enemies up there, it could have been a problem if our units were not able to fire and kill those enemies up there. But can our units climb up to meet them face to face? The Thud can. Obviously the commander can too. Come on. There. They can. So that's another thing to note. Alright, I think the game has dragged long enough. It's meant to be a short game, so let's just finish it. That's all for this mission. This is our reward, the end screen. I'd like to talk about the end screen actually. You can see that the units firing down on the transports are not our units, obviously, but in the end screen it doesn't always show a very triumphant scene, I would say. Yeah, triumphant scene. It can show how our units went through during the battle, or I mean what our units went through during the battle, which includes the enemy units firing upon the transports that we are supposed to save. We noticed that the transports weren't carrying any units actually, but here they seem to be carrying the Weasel. So yeah. Alrighty, let's look at the score screen. 67 kills, 29 losses. That's pretty good, right? Of course, as usual, collateral damage. They killed 25, we lost 29. Oh, and it could have been... was it? This is something that I didn't check. Was it due to the transports? I'll have to find out. Energy produced, metal produced, energy that's in excess, metals in excess. Once again, we can check 50 times 67. That's 3,350. So yeah, it's multiplied by 50. Alright, so that's the end of mission 3, ambush. Next we will have mission 4, enough is enough. That's all I have for now. Have a nice day.